Hello, I'm Marc Schiliro, the owner of MS Classic Cars. Today I'm sitting behind the wheel of a very special 1965 Ford Mustang V8 Coupe. Classic car that I ever bought, I believe I was 26 years old, somewhere in that vicinity, was a 1965 Ford Mustang V8 Coupe. I'm going to put a picture, kind of an embarrassing picture of me sitting next to that car within our description of this car so you can check it out. It was a red car. I think I had a trophy next to it that I had won at a local car show, and it had a black and white interior. Similar two-tone effect is what this car is. That's first thing. Second thing I want to mention about this car is I've nicknamed it Samantha. The reason I've done that is because this is the first car that my daughter has driven. She's going to be getting her license at some point later next year, and I thought, how cool would it be to teach my daughter how to drive on a 1965 Ford Mustang V8 Coupe. So my daughter, my family, we've had some good memories in this car. I actually brought it home starting in the spring, and we've had it throughout the spring and the summertime. It just came time now that we're dwindling down with the summer to bring it to the dealership and list it for sale. The other thing I want to mention about this particular car that makes it, again, very special is it belonged to a gentleman, kind of a cool story, sad ending, but his name is actually Bill Lee Lindsay. I have his obituary here in this binder that I've created. It's the first thing that I actually did here. Again, Billy Lee Lindsay was his name. He was born October 31st, 1945. He passed January 27th of 2017. He was actually a blue-collar guy, hard worker, worked as an electrical drafter. He even did some work for the military and so forth with electrical for projects and things like that. He acquired this car and started a restoration in 1992. So try to envision that for a moment. 1992, I have all the receipts from everything that he did with this car. I put everything in correct date order. I went through every single receipt. I put it in plastic sleeves, as I do with every car. And these receipts that are in the beginning here, they start from 1992. What he did is he connected with a company in his local town in Kansas called Kansas Classics. They specialize in new and used parts. They do service and they do restorations strictly for Mustangs. So the project began in 1992. This was a car that He bought with intentions of doing a full restoration. His goal was to bring it back to its natural beauty. He wanted to restore the car as correctly as he possibly could. He literally spent tons and tons and tons of money on this restoration. As people know, these restorations get extremely expensive. By the time you acquire the car, pay for all the parts, pay for the labor, the prices just get really, really ridiculous. Since he did not have a huge budget, he did this restoration over time as he could afford to. You know, I purchased the vehicle from his wife. Her name's Denise, that's her nickname. She's a super nice person, and she kind of told me the story as I tell it today. And again, all these receipts here go through the 90s. There's tons and tons of things. Like right now, as an example, I'm on 1994 and so forth. So from the information that I've gathered here, the restoration kind of came to a stop in 2007, thereabouts. Bill had gotten sick and he retired a little bit earlier than planned. The car kind of went on the back burner. 10 years later, again in 2017, he passed. I would say the car was probably 80% complete. Matter of fact, his wife had told me that he drove the car home before he kind of parked it when he had gotten sick, and he was sitting on milk crates. The car didn't even have an interior in it. He actually drove it home on milk crates. So unfortunately, he never got to see the car, completed. His wife in April of 2017 made a decision that she wanted to finish the car, in his memory, also so she could enjoy it for a little while with her family. That's exactly what she did. She sent the car back to Kansas Classics. All the receipts document that in 2017. They completely finished the restoration, and she drove the car exactly 1,020 miles before she ended up selling it to me. She took the car to a few car shows. She was awarded multiple first place trophies and second place trophies at various events. Those awards are not included. She obviously wanted to keep them for her own private reasons and so forth. But great story. This is a great car. So to talk a little bit about the car, just for a split second here, and what it was born as. With Mustangs, when you decode the VIN number, first generation Mustangs in particular, you can pull up exactly what the story is. This car was born in 1965. It was assembled at the Dearborn, Michigan plant. It was born a hardtop. The engine code came out to be a V8 289 4-valve, and this is the production sequence of order the car was built. Based on the trim tag information, the trim tag on this car is a reproduction trim tag. From the information I've gathered, the original trim tag was just real rough. So a lot of times when people do show quality restorations, they don't want that nasty old tag that's barely legible on the door. So they call Marty Auto Works. They make a new trim tag, and this is what this car has. So the trim tag clearly shows that the car was born a coupe. Silver smoke gray was the color, which is what you see here today. It's a really unique, rare color. It had a blue and white luxury interior. The car was built on April 26, 1965. It went to Dallas, Texas. That was the DSO, which is where the car was shipped to. It had a C4 automatic transmission, and it had 3.001 gear ratio in the back. So that's what the car was born as. So getting into the exterior of the vehicle, what I'd like to note is most of the sheet metal on this car was replaced during the restoration. They spent a ton of time aligning all the sheet metal, so I would say that the gaps on this vehicle are excellent. The hood fits great, the doors open and close great, the trunk lid fits great. If you look down the side of the car, it's really straight. I think Billy really wanted to spend a lot of his money on making sure that the body was beautiful, so the rest of the car would flow accordingly. Of course, they painted it the original color. This is a beautiful color in person. It kind of changes its shade depending on what type of light is hitting it. It kind of looks silver, it kind of looks blue, it kind of looks gray. Again, it's kind of a rare color that you don't see very often. Everything on the exterior, with the exception of the glass, was replaced new, so I would describe it as in new condition. The glass is all original glass, including the windshield. It's all stamped Ford Carlite. That's on the windshield, the vents, the door glass, the rear quarter glass, and the back glass. All the stainless trim was restored. It's original trim. It's in beautiful condition. All the bumpers are new, the grill's new, door handles, the driver's side mirror, everything on the exterior is new. It does have the correct spinner hubcaps with the BF Goodrich double red line tires that are 4-ply. They actually look really, really great paired up with this color combination and so forth. Now, getting into the interior of this vehicle, I have to say this is probably my favorite color combination of an interior of any car. I'm a huge fan of cars that have blue interiors, white interiors, tan interiors. I like vehicles that definitely have character when they mix two tones and so forth. So anyway, this particular interior, I would describe it as new. Everything has been replaced, which is clearly documented in this binder here. One thing I do want to mention quickly before I forget, every vehicle that we sell at MS Classic Cars comes with a brand new binder that I buy. I put all the receipts that I gather within the binder. Everything is in order. They're all in plastic sleeves. So I just want to make sure that I note that. Also at MS Classic Cars, every vehicle that we sell, I own. We don't do any consignments. We run everything through our service department. We're the only classic car dealership in the country that actually services every vehicle we sell. We document the work with an invoice that's pictured within our gallery, that's also in this binder, and we detail these cars to the highest level of quality from top to bottom to make sure they look as good as what they possibly can. And I stand behind every vehicle I sell. I just want to make sure I mention that. And again, I said it in other videos, I'll say it again, these are non-rehearsed videos. The information I'm giving you today is just what I've learned about the car, and I just do the best job I can. There might be a bunch of things that I miss in these videos, so make sure that you read our descriptions, check out all our photos, and you can definitely call me with any further questions if you have them, okay? So getting back into the interior, like I said, this interior is brand spanking new. The headliner is absolutely beautiful. It's kind of a light shade of blue, more of like a sky blue. The sun visors, the same thing. The sun visors are brand new rear view mirror. The dash pad is actually a little bit different shade of blue than the headliner is. It's more of a little bit darker blue here. The blue carries out through the door panels, parts of the seats, of course the carpeting. It even has the correct Mustang rubber floor mats. The white part of the interior is on the dash fascia. It's on the door panels, it's in the seats and so forth. It's even on the steering column. So again, it's got that perfect blend of blue and white, which is really attractive. The dash gauge bezel, the glove box cover, the steering wheel, and parts of the door handles are actually simulated wood, which looks really great with this kind of pony interior. All of the gauges are absolutely beautiful. They're all in working order. They're all new. All the dash hardware is new. Door panels, the seats, the carpeting, the shifter, everything in this interior is new. It does have a Rally Pac. I can't determine if this Rally Pac is an original restored or if it's a reproduction. My gut feeling tells me it's original just based on some of the patina. So it's really cool that it has a Rally Pac. Also, this car has power steering. We added the power steering at MS Classic Cars. We ran it through our service department. The steering works absolutely beautiful. And probably most important of all the options, this car has factory air conditioning. The air conditioning has been converted. So we went through the air conditioning when we serviced it. It blows ice cold. That's a great feature that this particular Mustang has. It even has seat belts on the front seats. So I can't really say enough about this interior. Everything is in working order. It's in beautiful, beautiful condition. The one comment in regards to everything in working order, the AM radio, it said in the receipts that I was reading through that the AM radio works. I can't get it to work, so before the car leaves, we might try again to get the AM radio to work. I don't know how many people are going to listen to AM anyway, but I just want to make a mention of that. And also the clock on the Rally Pac, We don't normally mess with clocks here because people disconnect the batteries, they reconnect them, and the clocks stop and start and everything else. But the clock does not appear to be working either, so I just want to make mention of those two things. We'll take one last stab at it when we run it through service before it leaves on an enclosed trailer to the new owner, but I just want to make mention of that. Talking about the trunk compartment, they did a beautiful job restoring the trunk compartment. The back side of the trunk lid has the jack instruction sticker as it should. It has the correct style trunk mat. It also has a matching tire for a spare. It has all the tools. They did a really, really nice job with that. Talking about the engine compartment, the engine bay in this vehicle is very, very detailed. It's finished in the correct shade of black. It's kind of like a satin black that the factory did. It does have the original VIN stamp on the driver's side inner fender as it should. There's a lot of correct parts, not only in the engine bay, but throughout this entire car. So you'll see little things like the hose clamps they use. You'll see the Ford stamps on the hoses. You'll see certain things like the alternator, the radiator, things like that that are all somewhat correct for this car. The car is powered by an A-code 289 4-valve V8 engine. There is no real way to determine if these engines are the original, to the vehicle. Only the K-code Mustangs had the VIN number on the block, so there is no way to know, but it is a date-coded engine. I couldn't get that information from the receipts, so it could be, it couldn't be, it doesn't really make a huge difference, but it is an A-code engine, 4-valve V8. The engine runs absolutely beautifully. It's been completely gone through. The engine is actually dressed with aluminum Cobra style valve covers, which look really good. It's got a matching air cleaner. At MS Classic Cars, when we service the car, we actually put a brand new Holley quick fuel carburetor on it. It's a 4-barrel. It works really good. It's got a great choke. Kick down the choke. It just purrs like a kitten. You'll listen to it run in a minute. The car runs really cool. I can speak of that because I put some miles on this car, as I mentioned earlier. I've driven this car roughly about 400 miles. I cannot say that about most of the cars that I sell. Again, this was a special car. I brought it home. I enjoyed it with the family. So I've put 400 miles on this car. Drove it in hot days. It never had any overheating problems or any issues whatsoever. Talking about the exhaust system, it has factory manifolds, and it breathes through a factory-style hypo dual exhaust system, which sounds really, really nice. The engine is coupled to a C4 automatic transmission. That's what the car was born with originally. The transmission was rebuilt professionally as documented in the receipts. It shifts beautiful. And the rear end, it's a Ford 8-inch rear end. When we were servicing the car at MS Classic Cars, I made the decision to add posi to the rear end just for extra traction. Although this motor is not super powerful, this is no race car by any means, I definitely thought it would be worth it because the car does have a good amount of power to put a posi rear end in the back. So we took care of all that. Talking about the undercarriage has all been completely restored. Everything's been replaced. The bottom side of the car was painted in the correct factory red oxide paint, which looks beautiful. Definitely put mirrors under this car if you decide to take it to a car show and you want to display it. The suspension system has been completely rebuilt. The braking system has been rebuilt. It's got a new fuel tank, all lines, etc., etc. So again, everything on this car has been restored. It's been restored to show quality condition. The car was finished in 2017. It's only been driven 1,410 miles since the restoration. It's a great car. So please check it out on our website at msclassiccars.com. You'll see a full description. You'll see a ton of highly detailed photos. Call me with any additional questions. We appreciate you following us on social media as well. Again, msclassiccars.com. I'm going to go ahead and start the car. Let you listen how beautiful it runs. It starts up just like that every single time you start it. It runs absolutely beautiful. I can't say enough about this car. It's something I'm really proud of. Thank you. going to do something that we normally don't do on these videos. I just figured we'd do something a little bit different here. Normally I turn the car on, shut it off, turn it back on to show you how well it's dialed in. Thought I'd take advantage of doing that real quick for you. So you saw how the car was running. The flip of a key, just like that. It's purred like a kitten. I'll give it a rev. Listen how nice this thing runs. It runs awesome. Out the hypo, dual exhaust system, it sounds super, super sweet. Once again, appreciate you watching. Thank you.